Mr. Trump may not value major multilateral institutions in the Asia-Pacific, but appreciates the role of sub-multilateral groups such as the Diamond Quad, Quad, and AUKUS, and will still need ASEAN together. ASEAN-led forums, as additional mechanisms to contain China. One of the goals mentioned by Mr. Trump when running for office was to soon resolve the Ukraine issue and separate Russia and China, to focus on dealing with Beijing. During his previous term, Mr. Trump considered China an opponent and started a trade war with China. He is also the person who launched the Free and Open Indo-Pacific (FOIP) strategy in 2017. Therefore, during this term, Mr. Trump will likely further promote the FOIP strategy to compete with China. On foreign policy, Trump is likely to continue advocating for America First and Making America Great Again, aiming to revitalize the nation to maintain its status as the world's #1 superpower. He will take a pragmatic approach to foreign relations, emphasizing unilateralism and bilateral agreements over multilateralism, and highlighting the need for allies and partners to share the responsibilities for defense costs. In other regional issues, Trump will also adopt a more pragmatic stance. He has stated that he could potentially end the Russia-Ukraine war and the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza before he takes office in January 2025. Domestically, Trump will facilitate more favorable conditions for businesses, especially large corporations, to expand production, develop the economy, create jobs, and reduce the burden on the government budget. He will cut taxes on large businesses as promised. Trump will also implement measures to curb illegal immigration at the southern border, including the deportation of illegal immigrants, the construction of detention facilities, and the deployment of the military at the border with Mexico. Trump will continue to implement the domestic and foreign policies he outlined during his first term, with some adjustments. Trump may seek to appoint Jeffrey Clark as Attorney General, the top law enforcement official in the United States. He could also choose North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum as Secretary of Energy, whom Trump has called more knowledgeable about energy than anyone else. The Secretary of Commerce position might be given to Linda McMahon, Trump's former director of the Small Business Administration. Additionally, former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has been considered by Trump, though it remains unclear which position he would take among Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Homeland Security, or Secretary of Health and Human Services. Trump is likely to choose Howard Lutnick, who raised $75 million for his campaign, as Secretary of the Treasury. However, another potential option for the Treasury position in Trump's cabinet could be former U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer, who assisted Trump in formalizing trade agreements with China, Canada, and Mexico. For the position of Secretary of Defense, Trump has indicated a list that includes Senator Tom Cotton, Congressman Mike Waltz, and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. The first criterion for choosing his cabinet members is undoubtedly loyalty, followed by other factors. In addition to the vice president position, which will likely be held by Senator J.D. Vance, who has been aligned with Trump since the beginning of the campaign, the positions of Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, and Secretary of the Treasury are the three most important roles in Trump's new cabinet. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to continue implementing the policies he introduced during his first term when he assumes office as the new occupant of the White House.